Alright guys, hello, welcome back. It's time for the second match of the day. This one is going to be Sigma facing off against the Broncos, not the Bronkos. Those guys, I don't know what happened to them last week. They lost horribly. The Broncos took them over or something. I don't even know anymore. It's the round of 16. I'm Zidon, here with Rinconius, joining us this time for picks and bans.
Oh my god, is that like the first time you've introduced me on weekend and haven't made a reference to poisonous creatures?
I'm saving it. Just wait. building suspense and drama and all that fun stuff. It's going to be epic once I finally go for it again.
Was it VVS? I'm building stacks?
Yes.
Held the command right? Yes, I did!
Like it's VSS. No, it's VVS. Indeed. We're building the stacks that the Australian poke. I don't know. I'm moving on. Bans. I was going somewhere with that and never actually got there. It's Thor taking off the table. It is Sylvanas taking off the table. Bologna as well. As the final ban will be Poseidon taking one of those mid lane gods off the table. As first pick will once again be Neith. 2-3 weeks ago, I don't think anybody saw this happening.
And then we received an amazing patch, and now we're here.
Yep. To the chagrin, so that might not be the correct way to pronounce the word, but to some people's disappointment, not everyone is thrilled with the emergence of this whole play all the Guardians, play all the Hunters, and just kill all the things while the Guardians never die simultaneously. It makes for weird games, because you have these, they're getting killed, and simultaneously they're like immortal because they're tanky Guardians, so it makes for some very, very weird play.
Yeah, and with Athena and Ymir on the board already, you can already tell that they're looking for a nice lockdown, initiate comp. Medusa would be a really, really strong pick here to go with the Athena. We know that composition too well, but you know, they can still run the Athena jungle and the Ymir in lane because the Ymir and the Medusa actually do have a lot of kill pressure.
Another pretty nice setup as well, combo. Both Athena and Ymir comboed with the Scylla. We saw yesterday, I'm stuck on the name.
Vulture.
Vulture, that's the one. The Badger. It's like, no, that's not the one. Vulture, completely rocking that Scylla without the setup as well. So you don't necessarily need to have that taunt with the Frost Breath to lock somebody down for you. That said, having that crowd control to stop somebody in their tracks, or at least make them move in a predictable pattern, definitely makes it a heck of a lot easier to land those Amma monsters for a potential huge amount of damage in a fight. And they still have 2 more picks to just make that team even more scary.
Belonke taken off the board. They're obviously trying to force the guys from Da Bronkos to go towards a less late game oriented composition with the double hunter, but they can't rock in a double hunter with Athena, Ymir, Scylla, and Bastet on the board. As soon as the Bastet was locked in, alright, we can't play double hunter. We can only play the single hunter because we haven't picked up a hunter yet, and we're down to our last pick. So it's not going to be that, which is really, really good. And I was about to point out that I really don't like the double hunter to be run with Scylla. Because you have little to no early pressure. And if you fall behind, it is so hard to get to that late game. You are pinned underneath your towers. You're pinned away from that Gold Fury. And there's not a lot to get back in the game. I
want to say week 1 we actually saw the double hunter run with us. I think it was actually a Scylla as well. It was Agni or Poseidon. It was a mid lane, a typical mid lane mage. They played it quite well. There's a lot, one of these, we saw it a lot yesterday, these long extended, we're just going to fight over the Gold Fury for 10 minutes straight. They basically said to the mage, you know what, I'm sorry, I know you need farm as well, but the hunters right now, we want those guys online just that much more quickly. One hunter got the dual lane, one hunter got the mid lane, everyone else just kind of had to sit there near the Gold Fury just like saying hi and waving at the other team for 5 minutes straight. So you can still split them out, the hunters especially, if you can get them to the point where they can say, you know what, they are online, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. The fact that your mage is a little bit further behind, you can use them as a bit of a CC bot, a slow bot, in case of Scylla. The Sikkim is... it roots somebody in place, locks them down for a little bit. Even if they're not necessarily doing that whole big wombo combo that you typically expect out of those big burst mages, getting those hunters online for the persistent overtime fight, especially against potentially tanky teams. Geb's gonna be tanky. Hercules, well, he's Hercules, let's face it. He's pretty much immortal between being a warrior with that mitigate wounds taking pretty much all the time. So there's some play potential, and I'm still looking for the last pick in this team. It was Apollo getting locked in. Occasionally I remember to talk and do production stuff at the same time. There we go, he's finally up on screen. We haven't talked about it yet. A little bit of resurgence for him as well. Still lacking slightly in wave clear, but yeah. I like that he's back after being like top pick hunter season 1 and then basically falling off the face of the earth for a little while.
Is that straight down to Morningstar coming back? Is that really a reason for his power spike? I mean, obviously been seeing him in the solo purely for his split push potential, but in a duo lane, that's, I don't know, that's a bit more funky.
It offers that split push potential still as well, and the Heartseeker definitely doesn't hurt things, but it basically just comes down to it's a bit of a history repeating itself thing in Smite. When gods are nerfed, people tend to like, oh, they're horrible now, they're no longer viable, period. Xbalanque Season 1 was kind of the same boat as Apollo is right now, just completely lacked that wave clear. But Xbalanque scales up now, and with Season 2 as well, his wave clear isn't as big of an issue compared to many of the other hunters. Apollo specifically, he still has that split push potential. He's still a very strong god with the Audacity passive for that kind of inbuilt steroid every now and again. Serenade is still good despite the nerfs, so Beautiful still a pretty good move. The move still has the knock-up, so his kit's still pretty strong. He's kind of more in line compared to other gods. And then look at Neith again as well. Okay, she has a lot of self-healing as well in her kit, a lot of utility. But before the Heartseeker change, like, it's Neith. She's okay, she's not great, she falls off mid to late game. But we're seeing her top pick right now because she works really well mid lane. So people are, I think, kind of experimenting with some of the other hunters, bring a pop up, like, hey, you know what, oh yeah, this guy can really split push, this guy has a lot of mobility, we can like actually make use of that in these matches.
Yeah, and there's also the consistency of her ultimate, right? It's targeted, it's hitting, it's stunning someone, and it's a kill confirm from across the map. Kill shots across the map, right? Janus ultimate, Ra ultimate, they're not confirmed kills. You have to hit them, and it's so much harder to hit them at the longer range, right? Because it's just a small incremental degree change in your ability cast at the point of origin is so much more of an ability swing around at the other end of it. Remember, we're going back to your trigonometry, your problems here, your geometry and stuff.
Geometry.
Okay.
See? Okay. You're confusing me with the types of math I should be figuring out and learning here. You're not helping things, man. Not helping things.
Alright, well, when you've got an ultimate that's global, it's targeted, it does damage, and it's a stun, kill confirm potential is so good on her.
Oh, we'll see exactly how this one plays out. It's going to be Six Sigma playing off against the Broncos. Last week, the Broncos were knocked out early on by Six Sigma. I may have just said that backwards. One of these teams knocked out the other one early. Trying to find it quickly and cover myself. It was the Broncos knocked out early by Six Sigma. We'll see if there's a repeat of that this week, or if the Broncos can advance beyond Six Sigma this week. Stick around, we'll be back in just a minute with the game. Alright, take two. The gods are on the side of the screen. Yay, people can see the UI. That said, Six Sigma facing off against the Broncos in this one. Production. Seriously, why do they keep doing these mess-ups?
Hindu!
Yeah, it's always his fault. It's never mine again. You know, it's physically impossible for any of these issues to be my fault. We discussed this yesterday at length. We'll just mention it again today. Impossible. That said, Six Sigma facing off against the Broncos in this one. It's going to be Six Sigma on the left-hand side of Spectator, wearing the blue trunks defending the Titan of Order. We have Bulbasaur playing the solo lane Hercules, Mr. Crunchy in the jungle as Fenrir, Angry Day QQ in the mid lane as Ra, Deku Scrub in the support role as Gab, and finally Vote MBK playing the Hunter, Neith.
Yeah, and on the opposite side of things, from the Broncos and the Red Trunks, it is going to be Lennox on the solo Bastet that a few people were calling out in that chat. Great job to those guys who were. Revel is going to be on the Athena in the jungle. Clyde is going to be a mid lane on the Scylla, looking for some big armor monster players, trying to channel. He's in a Bolcher, he's in a MLC style from yesterday. Tattleson is going to be on the Ymir, and Ibaluka is going to be on your 80 carry. Hollow.
Not sure if the backswing I want to touch on as the soul laners kind of start going at it. Mid lane, Angry Day QQ on that Ra, going for that Soul Stone early, taking a bit of poke. The problem with the Soul Stone, it's a lot of extra mana regen. It's a decent chunk of extra power on every fifth ability. Let's actually talk about the item for a second before I start trying to explain it. Every attack every basic attack gives you a stack. Every stack gives you extra mana and extra power. The extra power is only in effect, and that mana regeneration is only in effect until you use your next ability. So starting at Soulstone, it's a lot of extra regen and a lot of extra power in your next ability. The problem is the item doesn't actually give health, so it's a bit of a riskier start to this game. Angry Day is going with it. I've seen him play many times in the past. He's all about that big aggressive mage mid lane play, so this item fits his bill perfectly.
The heat bears down upon you.
Yeah, I mean, as well, Scylla in the earlier portions of the game, she's forced to use those basic, especially into Ra, right? Ra just tosses down that blessing, and he just heals up his minion wave and shoves it so hard. Mr. Crunchy though is able to get the left-hand side back camps away from Da Bronkos, which means that there's going to be nothing sitting there for Scylla and Athena if they try to go for it. Left-hand side now, the wall-off did come through. Crunchy was looking for some aggression on towards Tattleson. They get a shockwave down, but there's going to be a full team rotate bar our solo lanes from both sides.
Yeah, let's head back towards the mid lane. We're still about a minute off those mid harpies spawning. So a bit of an unusual grouping in early rotation. It wasn't in response to like a back harpy invade or anything like that. It was just straight up, we want to try and catch somebody out and fight them. Mid lane, Revel taking a bit of poke from Mr. Crunchy. Not going to be locked down though. He's not going to commit to that brutalize. You have to be careful if Revel's able to charge up their preemptive strike and dash away. Mr. Crunchy may find himself running into the tower.
Oh!
That said, we just missed first blood in the soul lane. I'm assuming, given that it was Hercules, it was on the back of an unfortunate Earthbreaker driving strike combo.
And the ultimate's already been burned by Bobasura as well. This is the problem when you're running an assassin into a warrior, is that the warriors generally have sustain, they're beefier, they're so much less likely to die to that assassination attempt.
Exactly. So about 15 seconds off Harpy spawning, you can see the rotations coming out right now. Pings to the right-hand side camp as well. We're not sure what team was pinging those, as they were the retreat pings, which are always yellow, unfortunately. But it looks like Sigma are wanting to try and grab both camps at the same time. Tattleson going to look for the Hand of the Gods. It's going to come down just a second too late. Deacon Scrub Wolf picked up the left side camps. So on the right side, World Weaver's charged. Finding a kill onto Revel here. Not sure who got the camps, but a kill for a Harpy camp potentially. That's still worth it in my book.
I'm pretty sure they were still taking the camp through the middle of healing Revel, so I'm gonna give that camp over to the guys on Six Sigma. Pretty sure they grabbed that one away. Either way, they grabbed themselves up at a defender of Olympus and, well, chomped down on her and bet themselves up, I guess. It's healthy for them. Right-hand side, it's going to be Lennox trying to kill off Bobasura, but he's got that mitigate wounds ticking the cats, though. Yeah, that's the 3 extra minions you're going to try and deal with, and Lennox will at least find a reply kill onto that Hercules.
Yeah, typically as well, you don't expect those big level 5 pushers coming out of, say, a Bastet. You more expect it from, like, a Bakasura. But yeah, like I said, those extra minions definitely help things out, the slows, the damage. And even at this point in the game, I'm pretty sure Hand of the Gods, if Hercules had thrown it down, would not have been enough to one-shot those, the cats. We've had to rely on the driving strike as well, and given the fact that he had just used that for wave clear, he found himself in a bad spot, and Lennox was able to capitalize on that. So well played by him. Hercules as well, Bulbasaur did pick up the teleport, but he didn't use it yet. Something we typically see, the soul laner will grab that teleport and immediately use it to get back to lane. He's going to keep that in hand. That could possibly mean that Six Sigma are considering a Gold Fury here in the next couple minutes.
The wave is incredibly shoved up right now, but the problem is Geb's clearing back camps, Neith just based. Ra, I mean, there's so much sustain as well from the Unravel, the Celestial Blessing, and the Mitigate Wounds that they've got so much potential to take out a Gold Fury. And Mr. Crunchy as well, Fenrir, he's got his own self-sustain. There is so much self-sustain to trying to burn through a Gold Fury very quickly. They'll take very little damage, and it's very tough to fight them in that scenario as well.
Yeah, there's also at that point in the game as well, there's really not a lot of vision on the map. The first early wards that are placed down are just wearing off. Second wards are only just being placed now. The Gold Fury is warded up. Telson just dropped one down over there. With the lack of sentry wards, they're not going to clear that out. Mid lane, Mr. Crunchy and Angry Day pick up a kill onto Clyde. The combo was good. They didn't even, they used the Ragnarok Court. Mid lane, Revel in trouble. World Weaver coming in from this one, locking down, securing the kill for Angry Day.
Tattleson, though, he's not quite done. Down comes that. Apollo, though, he's going to look for some reply kill over in the right-hand side. Lennox will pick off Bobasura, but nothing to be had in the mid lane. Look at how low those health bars are. They are so damn low, but still not able to find anything. At least World Weaver got in there for Vote MBK to pick himself up an assist, so that's all well and good for the 80 carry from Six Sigma.
Yeah, over in that soul lane as well, there was another kill going on to Lennox. The Bastet, you would not generally expect that matchup to be going that way. Was the mana buff stolen away? We can no longer see if it was actually on Bulbasaur, but if you didn't have that mana buff, it makes wave clear a little more difficult, and you can't keep that mitigate wounds ticking away constantly because you do. Bluestone Pendant is great. It's a great item. It helps your mana over. Oh, never mind. Looking at the items, no Bluestone Pendant for Hercules, so yeah, it doesn't make much sense in that. The whole line of thinking didn't make much sense. But yeah, no, if that blue buff was in fact stolen away, we can't actually check that right now. Without that mana pool, the wave clear is going to be very rough. You can't really use mitigate wounds either. You can either wave clear or you can keep yourself healthy. Lennox with the blue buff running. Razor Whip, Declaw, Razor Whip, Declaw, Razor Whip, Declaw. Hercules gets just down to that point where Lennox feels comfortable diving him all, going all in. You pounce in, you drop the cat call, Razor Whip, and Hercules is pretty much dead to rights at that point. Maybe one more Declaw to secure it up.
And as well, like we talked a bunch yesterday, Earthbreaker Driving Strike combo from Bulbasaur onto Lennox, but Lennox has got a Defender of Olympus. There's cats here and then Declaw as well to just make sure that this is Bulbasaur going absolutely nowhere, son. Get absolutely locked down and burn through, but left-hand side of the map, this is going to mean Gold Fury.
But they are fully aware of this, walking across that lovely little cat box ward. They're burning up Batelson coming in. Frost Breath does connect them too. Damage coming in as Baloo comes on the backside.
Down goes that Hog though, so Six Sigma are gonna get the secure away on towards that Gold Fury. Great steal to come through, and the snipe from Vote MBK is gonna get the backside of Da Bronkos, and Baluka will find Crunchy now. What else can they find? Oh, to the skies. What? Sorry, across the skies. He's gonna try and come back in and look for Deku Scrub as he ran out of mana as well. Angry QQ is in a little bit of problems, but they're gonna manage to live through this one. No one else to die, and Six Sigma get the secure on their Gold Fury.
Yeah, looking at the graph, it's I had the teams backwards. Six Sigma secured the Gold Fury because they started up. Sometimes I actually know what's going on in these games. Other times I just say stuff that I hope is right and is sometimes not correct. So yeah, with those couple kills coming in on the tail end as well, that was a pretty big victory for Six Sigma. They all escaped with their lives intact as well. So yeah, big victory coming in for those guys. The fact they had vision didn't help them all that much in that situation. Ingrid using that Soul Blast and heal himself back up in mid lane. Little poke from Clyde coming in. I'm curious how he's going to build this one up going forward. He's lacking a little bit of health. He's doesn't have that extra 100 from that Vampiric Shroud. 100 generally not a lot, but how many times do we see gods escape with just a sliver of health? That last fight even, those health bars were getting very, very low. So even just 100 health can make a difference between you dying and surviving.
Very much so as well. Is that lost artifact going towards a Chronos Pendant as well to give him that CDR into towards the mid and late game?
Say that again?
Is that lost artifact? Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong item. Chronos Pendant. Is it? Yeah, it goes on towards Chronos Pendant. Yeah.
Yep.
And is that what he's looking to pick up with this? You wouldn't be picking up the Doom Orb, would he? He might be.
Angry Day, like I said earlier, likes to play very aggressively on these mages. I haven't seen him play that aggressively. That said, I also haven't really seen him play a whole lot since Doom Orb was reduced in cost and became more of a higher party item. I don't know. Raw, typically you're looking for a little bit more health. He has a heal, but it's a heal over time. It's not a case of like how it's like, boom, here's 500 health. It's a case of I need to actually stay alive to make use of that heal over time that I actually am able to place down. It's an area on the ground. They can fire skill shots into it, force you out of it, like the Crush, especially. It's like Scylla just drops it down and completely shuts down the healing from Ra. It's like, you can go get healing, but I'm just going to pop the Crush and do lots of damage to you.
Well, down comes that Rasnime looking for some damage, won't quite find it, and the Ragnarok is going to grab Baluka, then burn through him. Next target is going to be murdered through that Tattleson. What else is online here? The World Weaver's coming through. They've got another pick on towards Regal, but he lives. Lima Monster barely connects with anyone, if anyone at all. Mr. Crunchy's ticking through those dots from Lennox, and he is so big right now at 4-1. And look what he's able to do in the middle of a team fight. Regal will live, but now it's Angry Day QQ. The cat call has dropped down. Defender of Olympus. Great knockout by Bulbasaur. So that damage is at least going to be denied from away from Angry Dad QQ. Clyde is trying to kite around with those basics on the right-hand side of this fight, but he's still going to get engaged on by Bulbasaur. No, in the end of it, he's just going to be like, yo, there's a minion wave. I'm taking some XP.
Yeah, so far, fighting back and forth by both these teams. Hercules was a part of this one. He's getting focused down pretty hard in that solo lane, but has come back in a big way. That fight going the way, well, it's a little bit back and forth, to be honest. The Broncos found one. Lennox was chasing down in what looked to be a pretty bad situation for him, able to pick up a kill and survive in the end. As things continue to go forward, Hercules is still just sitting on Steel Mail, Mystical Mail. He'll be getting that much more tanky and that much more damaging as things continue going. He's on level 12, still a point to be put in Earthbreaker or Driving Strike. Driving Strike probably max at this point. Mitigate Wounds, still low rank, not really that tanky, unkillable monster quite yet. They have that Ra as well. And looking at things, I imagine Revel's going to be looking to pick up a Weakening Curse here in the near future because he's really the only spot left to put it on. You typically don't want a mage who doesn't want to be anywhere near the front lines being the guy trying to deliver that Weakening Curse. And I think to not have any sort of anti-healing coming online in the near future could be a bit of a mistake for the Broncos.
Well, Bulbasaur and Mr. Crunchy going to look for Lennox over here on the right-hand side. He's going to get that Razor Whip out, and look at the Excavate, does so much damage, and now the focus is down on towards Revel. They get That ultimate through from the Neith on the left-hand side of the map, and she is going to clean up with the assistance, but now coming through, it's across the skies. What can the Apollo find? He's going to find a minion wave. He just ulted across the map for a minion wave, Jordan.
Stacks, you gotta build them. It's only 44, needs 6 more. Another minion wave would have done it, but it was only 1 minion wave, unfortunately. Pause coming out for Six Sigma right now. Maybe a strategic pause. Maybe someone having a little bit of lag or something to that effect. Nevertheless, that lost artifact did get built up in the Chronos Pendant. More heals, more abilities getting spammed out, plus some extra damage and mana regen never hurts. As the pause comes to a rather quick conclusion, and the game gets back underway. Taking a peek at the other items, Heartseekers for both hunters pretty much fully stacked up. Slightly different itemization builds. Assy online for Neith, giving some extra sustain in the lane. Apollo going for the Ninja Tabai, extra movement speed, extra attack speed as well. So slightly different focuses. Apollo has to be a little more careful though. Neith, VODMBK can definitely look to apply some poke and damage to Beluga that he, at this point in time at least, won't be able to heal back up.
Yeah, and there's the Unravel as well from the Neith. So she is just incredibly safe to be a little bit more aggressive in the early portions of the fight. The amount of healing coming across from the rest of the team and the Stone Shield from Geb means that she's got more than enough to get herself to be able to top back up if she's in the right places. She's still, she still can't be sitting on top of Ra. That's still a problem. But hey, all comes through and Deku scrubs the focus.
That Frost Breath, the wall, all the damage coming in, that's going to be a very dead Geb once again. Well, first time this game for him. We've seen many Gebs die this weekend. It's the downside of being support. You will tend to die. With that, though, this frees up an opportunity. The Broncos could look for a gold fear here potentially, but there's still a number of members from Six Sigma nearby. Frost Breath, Blink will end up missing. That initiation opportunity now off the table. You're going to have to force this one a bit more aggressively if they want to bait Six Sigma into a fight.
Down comes this Gold Fury. It's already below 80% health. Vote MBK is on the backside, so this is a little bit risky positioning. The monster's already been popped by Clyde. He'll try and get through Angry. The cats are going to do the rest of the work, so Clyde is at least going to pick that one up, and now Beluga is going to get the Defender of Olympus down on top of him. Geb is now respawned, and he will be able to rejoin this fight. Blink and a Cataclysm finds 3. They burn through Beluga. The next focus is Revel. He's just going to get eaten alive. What else can they find? It's Lennox to find Crunchy, but Clyde is not very high health on mana either, and this could be worrying, but Six Sigma look like they're going to be the ones to secure the Gold Fury.
They're going to look for it. We'll see if they can stop this one. Lennox going to go forward, pounce, Razor will try to get back over the wall, but the crowd control almost too long. Lennox finds the quick kill to VODMBK with the help of that Gold Fury. Damage coming down. Wrath of the God secures it for Six Sigma. Question now is, can they get back out? No, Lennox will not stuck around there just a little too long. Fortunately, Pounce was still on cooldown.
Hype, Bobasura snipe. It's not the hot Ra snipes, it's going to be the rocky ones coming through from Bobasura. Boulder, man, when you get a rock tossed at you and it's a rock at that size, whoa, that hurts.
It's his third displacement ability. You have the Earthbreaker, it can pull you back towards him. You have the Driving Strike, which drives you forward into a wall. And then you have this giant boulder that doesn't necessarily make you move, but let's face it, no one wants to get run over by that thing. It hurts a decent bit. So yeah, Gold Fury on the board, second one of the game for Six Sigma. We saw last week things. This is a rematch of last week, guys. The Broncos got knocked out early on by Six Sigma. Right now, Six Sigma with a slight lead, looking to have a repeat of last week and see a 4,500 gold lead, 2,700 experience.
Ooh,
I think the experience.
Right hand side. Mr. Crunchy and the World Weaver are going to go directly on towards Revel with the help of Bobasura cleaning up the kill. And, well, back to you, Shioden, because they just found a clean one onto Athena.
Yep, they spent a little bit to get it. Mid lane, a slight little grouping here by Six Sigma. They're starting to get to the point of the game where they want to start focusing down towers and objectives. Beads going to be forced on Clyde. Ragnarok spent for that one. Tier 2 beads. Ragnarok will be up slightly sooner, so nice little payoff there for Mr. Crunchy. There's the blink. There's the Cataclysm coming out. Clyde able to get in the monster. Searing Pain not going to connect because of it.
But that I'm a Monster has to be burned soon. It's going to absolutely miss everyone. And now Lennox is looking to jump in with that Razor Whip Declaw combo. Release force to disengage. But there's some healing from Ra here. And Six Sigma, they're just confident. They've got a 5k gold lead. They've got a significant XP lead. That's at 3.2k at the moment. They're just in the right spots to continue trying to pressure this mid tower. Not quite coming off this time around, and they'll be forced to back away.
Now, but Six Sigma on their spot, they can look for these little bit of extended sieges early on. Like I said, they have that healing coming out from Ra. Any little incidental poke they take gets healed back up immediately. The Broncos don't have that same luxury. Any damage they take, yeah, a couple of them can... Excuse me. None of them can actually lifesteal. None of them can actually heal up at the moment. There's a little bit of lifesteal coming out from Scylla, Bastet has the Death Stall, but let's face it, those both absolutely pale in comparison to the healing from the Solar Blessing on Ra.
Yeah, and then you've got the Azzy already online for that Neith, and she's got Unravel as well. Then you've also got Mr. Crunchy, and you know he's actually not something to be trifled with. And
No.
a little bit of sustains from his passive, yeah, in the Joden. No, his
Seething Howl, his 2,
That's
I
it.
believe it is. But yeah,
when you forget things.
I don't know the maths. I don't know the words. I know the abilities. Like I can say, I can be the smite ability analysis. Whenever a caster forgets the name of an ability, I'm the guy they need. They're sitting there, it's like, that's the ability you want. Just don't ask me for like Alquash's abilities or the twin. No, I still don't know Medusa's one. I don't know the name of it. What are the other 3? Taunt mid lane.
Viper
crush
Shot,
them as well.
Lacerate. Viper Shot, Lacerate, and Acid Spray. Viper Shot, Acid Spray, Lacerate.
Viper Shot. That's the one. Mid lane.
Cross the Sky's going to come in though from Apollo. He's looking for an engage. Deco Scrub is going to be the focus of that one, but it's only to join the team. Clearly not satisfied with split pushing in the left lane. Joins the team.
Mid Harpy's about to spawn. Good wall command. Blink. Cataclysm but finds 3. Searing Pain chunks a few bit as well as Mr. Crunchy jumps into this fight, grabs someone, and that is going to be a dead Revel.
The next focus is going to be down on towards Tattleson, and Basura finally joins this fight as well. They can look to pick off whoever they want. Ibaluka in the background is going to get tagged up for a ton of damage at this point in time. Lennox pounced forward, and now the jump forward from Mr. Crunchy as well. Basura can sit here and take the tower for him if required. He's got mitigate wounds, they've got sustain, and he is the tankier member with that mystical mail and a mid-guardian mail online as well. He is so tanky right now, that
World Weaver snipe from VoteMBK will find a kill on the Collide. They're still looking for more here at the backside. VoteMBK taking up the tower as the Hunter. Not too concerned as the other members of the Broncos are completely zoned out right now. They'll finally swap off that aggro, start getting some healing out of that soul blessing from Ra. These are those sieges that Six Sigma can definitely start to commit to right now. The healing making a huge difference. Bulbasaur is just an absolute monster, you can say, with that mystical mail and mid guardian online. And with the majority, by quite a margin, of the damage from the Broncos being physical at this point in time as well. It's going to work out really well for these guys with that mid-guardian mystical paying off for Hercules. We saw that whole fight, mitigate wounds plus the tankiness. He really didn't take much damage.
Yeah, Lanix with the Declaw, Razor Whip as well. That's so much physical damage just blocking that out. Beluka not able to hit as hard as he really wants to. He's, only got Heartseeker as he now online for a little bit of shred, so he's going to start hitting a little bit harder, but it's not all that much, Shonen. Look at the resistances of that Hercules, and he's so confident to get up, get in your face with that Excavate, and rock your world.
The puns.
It's the little things in the casting world, am I right? Lennox, though, he's going to look to jump across the wall and get aggressive with those cats. They're trying to do a bit of damage with those. Gold Fury's already started up below half health. Down comes the Cataclysm. Six Sigma secure the Gold Fury, and they're going to secure this fight afterwards as well, because they're continuing to chase. Crunchy's in the backline. Reva lives with a small sliver of health, but they've found Lennox, and they're going to CC chain him to death, and it's not over.
Yeah, good Sigma does catch 2. They get looking to chase. The wall will secure their escape right now. I said earlier, I was concerned about the lack of anti-healing coming out for the Broncos earlier on, but these fights is not even coming down to, they're just healing up all the damage. It's a matter of they're finding these picks very, very quickly. Bulbasaur is so tanky, Deku Scrub is so tanky. Mr. Crunchy is just going in, grabbing the right targets, bringing them back, and then just bursting them alive before they have a chance to do anything. Anti-healing wouldn't necessarily hurt, but it wouldn't stop things the way they're going right now. Divine Ruin at least is online, that'll help out for sure.
But it's not going to be the answer to all their problems. Crunchy is going to be one of those problems indeed as he looks for Tattleson. But do they have the damage? Another rock, man. Really bouldering away at these towers and the enemy life bars as well.
So that's Gold Fury, a tier 1 tower, a tier 2 tower as well. That's a decent extra chunk of gold in the bank, plus a couple of kills, the icing on the cake in this instance. So Six Sigma once again looking to knock the Broncos out of this tournament early on in the day. Rough goal for those guys. They're a good team. They're looking for these seeding points. It's a short 5-week season. And right now, the Broncos at least not having any luck getting further into the brackets.
Ouch. That really hurts for them. They need to. I mean, look at last week. Where did they finish up? Looking through the brackets
they
actually
were not
right now.
round of 16.
They got next to no points, and if Six Sigma do this to them again, they're on the back foot, not really in a position where they can start playing for those week 5 important placeholder, you know, those places, that top 8 places, they're so crucial to get into that next SPL because that's your only route.
Blink Cataclysm from Decoscript will not connect on Tettleson. He used his Blink to escape that one. But yeah, you're talking about the top 8. EU, there are a lot of teams contending for that spot. There's a lot of teams in NA as well, but there's a lot of teams on basically the same level. You look at the brackets from last week, there was a whole bunch of good games in the round of 32. There's a good game in the round of 64. There's a lot of good games in the round of 16. Quarterfinals onward, every single game was like, I want to watch this game, but we really don't have the time to do all of them.
Ragnarok coming through though for Mr. Crunchy. He's looking to grab up someone. He's finally going to get the chomp down on Baluka. And wow, the double combo from Rob. Laser beams 4 days. Tattleson gets CC'd into a wall as well. They're going to have the damage. Vote MBK going huge. Well, it could be Fire Giant Call, or it could be Crunchy dying underneath the tower as he gets Ymir monstered up. Revel secures that one, but there's no Hog 3 alive. They killed off the Ymir, and Deku Scrub is looking for more initiates.
Back catcall drop down, but MBK gonna be slowed down by us a little bit, not caring, finds that shot onto Lennox. They're gonna look for the World Weaver potential here onto Clyde. Not quite enough damage at this one time. The Celestial Beam barely missing Clyde over that wall. So yeah, Bulbasaur is zoning out a little bit too much there. You still have to keep in mind, yeah, he's Hercules, yeah, he's tanky, yeah, he has the mystical and Midgardian mail online, but let's face it, he has no magical protection really to speak of at this point in time, and he paid for it with the damage from Clyde, the Crush, and the Monster costing his life. But the Fire Giant, in the end, is going to be going the way of Six Sigma with nobody nearby to defend this one right now. It's about down to that threshold. Wrath of the Gods about to come on in, and there it goes. Six Sigma secure the first Fire Giant, 22 minutes, 30 seconds into this one. On 4 members, most importantly, vote MBK on that Hunter. They're going to be looking to take those 2 remaining towers and start looking at those Phoenixes.
Yeah, you mentioned it, there's only 2 towers left on the map. There's not a lot of structure remaining standing between Da Bronkos and Lost. They need to find a defensible point, and it has to be one of these 3 Phoenixes. These 2 towers, they're gone. Give them up. Don't even try defending them. They're not going to be able to base and use the gold that they use from killing them off to come further into the item builds. Whatever they're going to show up to them with, they're going to move on to the second one with. You're not going to be able to defend that in time as well. Defend around that Phoenix. Use that Frost Breath as you counter engage. Wall off. That's a really, really strong defensible point from Da Bronkos.
Oh yeah, those choke points going towards the Phoenixes are great. Mid lane, you have the wall that can be leapt over. Right lane, sort of the same thing. You can be looped around behind. The Phoenixes, pretty much that last bastion, and it's the one you want to defend at more likely than not because it's it's really the most defensible position on the map. Tier 2 mid tower falls rather quickly. They're grouping up mid. They have to remember that Baluka is currently still pushing down that left lane. He's moving into that tier 2 and the Phoenix in short order, but the fight for Phoenix is on.
Tattleson just gets absolutely burned up. He's getting worked through. They don't quite have the damage to do it so just yet, but the fight is going to go underneath the tower. Tattleson finally gets cleaned up, and the focus was on towards Clyde as well. That Scylla has not been hitting that late game spike. She's not been allowed to run free reign through these fights. This is no Bolcher Scylla from yesterday. This is just domination on Clyde's face.
Oh, without a doubt. Left side Phoenix getting brought down already. Solar Blessing drop down for some healing. They have that Divine Ruin online to provide a bit of anti-healing to this team. Bulbasaur was forced to go back to base to stop Baluka from split pushing down that Phoenix, but they've lost 2 in the process. Was that worth it? The gold doesn't hurt, but now they have Fire Minions to contend with as the fight continues. Revel's getting very low, will be brought down. Vote MBK adding another kill to the tally. 6-1-14 so far on him. You do not want an AD carry to be that big just 24 minutes into the game.
Wow, just they walk through whoever they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, because they've got a Fire Giant and they've got a 11k gold lead. This is... Jordan, I think this is over. I think this is just a matter... I hate saying that about games. I love games going down to the fire wire, but they've got 1 Phoenix left. And Six Sigma, they don't need to take it.
They have a tier 2 tower as well, but the big thing is there's still 1 minute and 30 seconds on that Fire Giant buff. The siege isn't over. There's no reprieve, there's no break for the Broncos. They have a brief moment while Six Sigma are going back to base to spend that gold they picked up. That's going to buy them about 30 seconds. Six Sigma are about to be knocking on the door once again. The big luxury is the fact that Baluka was split pushing. Those Fire Minions were very, very far down the lane. But still, in about a minute, those Fire Minions are going to burn through those regular weight minion waves and quickly make their way towards that Phoenix. Or back towards that Titan, rather. So, you know, there's a small little breath of air for the Broncos right now. And actually, the way it's looking right now, Six Sigma may not be looking to commit too much to this siege. You see BK kind of pushing that left lane up a little bit further. They're starting to group up now a little bit, but it's only going to be about 45 seconds. But that could still be more than enough for that final Phoenix to fall.
and the Fire Giant's only a minute and a half away, so they're a minute and a half from going back for that one. Neith already has her red pot online, so she is at that point in her build already. She had a little bit of gold left over, wasn't worth trying to expend. She's got nothing else to buy. She couldn't get on towards the Deathbringer in the first portions of that, so grabs the red pot, makes sure that she's still spinning out maximum cost-efficient damage at this point in time. Torn is going to come down from reveal. He's really looking for Deku Scrub, and not sure they can find him. Crunchy got walled off from balls deeping on towards Lennox, but another successful disengage for now. Beluka, though, this is a wrong spot for an 80 carry to be sitting in.
Yeah, it's not a good spot, really, for right now for the Broncos. They need to look to defend. There's a minute left on that Fire Giant respawn time. They're going to get this tier 2 tower for free. Really no point defending it. It's not necessarily over yet. We have seen many comebacks so far, but the comebacks we have seen so far were not on the back of a 10, 4, or 14,000 for that matter goal deficit at the 26-minute mark. Six Sigma have been pretty much in control of these fights. Bulbasaur, there's really no stopping him right now. He has some magical protections online already. Fenrir is not going to be easy to take down. That Hide-and-Emi line is up. Beluka is going to have a hard time dealing with him. Bastet to an extent as well. Yeah, she's more dot-based damage. She's not going to be in-handing quite as much. But it's a lot of physical protection. That dot damage is going to be a hell of a lot less just due to that the extra protection from the hide. So, it's a rough one. If the Broncos want to keep themselves in this, they need to look to... A Fire Giant Steel would definitely be a big step back into this one. But even if they manage to sink that Steel in, I don't necessarily know if they can win a straight-up 5v5 team fight in the middle of the map right now.
And Bulbasaur, look at that health bar. That is a 3k health bar. 2,900 on Deku Scrub as well. These guys, they have a large portion of health, and then they're just that damn tanky as well. Tattleson getting zoned directly by Crunchy. He's gonna blink forward and bypass him totally whatsoever, but they're gonna grab him up and turn through the team. But Broncos will at least get that Phoenix to respawn. I thought that was the Fire Giant goal, but it wasn't quite. They're gonna... They did actually get it. They did get it. Angry Day and QQ got burst through immediately, though, but the rest of the team is gone. Broncos, they've only got Clyde. They've only got Beluka, and Beluka's not even here yet. He's across the skysing in right about now. He's looking for somebody to engage upon. There's no one you can really work with, and now Clyde is just getting burst through. This Phoenix in the middle lane. It's gonna have no backdoor protections, and it's already been weakened for Crunchy. He doesn't want to even look for that. He looks for Clyde's face. He clears off that health bar. The team turns to the Titan, and he's still got Beluka in his sights.
They got the Titan Steel, Fire Giant Steel rather, but that it was gonna be... It's going to be too little too late, as the Titan was already weakened. The Phoenix was weak in the mid lane as well, brought back down immediately. Six Sigma just had too much of a lead in that particular team fight for that Fire Giant Steel by the Broncos to have any effect on the fight overall. So once again, Six Sigma are going to be knocking out the Broncos in the round of 16, moving themselves on to the quarterfinals. The Broncos, meanwhile, going to be struggling again this week, not really getting that many more seeding points on the board. So as next week moving into week 3, I think they have to keep their fingers crossed they don't run into Six Sigma again early on in the bracket. You can hopefully get themselves further and start establishing some points on the board overall.
Finding themselves up against Six Sigma in the round of 16, like 2 weeks running. I'm sorry to Broncos, that's really just bad luck. But then again, is there any much of an easier matchup across the rest of the bracket?
Nah, really.
No, it's EU. It is EU, and you know what that means? We've got an intense Poppies game coming for you right next. Shodan, take us out.
Yep, we'll be back here in just a few minutes, guys. It's going to be the Poppies facing off against D-Nuts in that next game. It's a quarterfinals one, so stick around. We'll be back with that in just a few.